What's up? We're Fall Out Boy. You're watching Fuse on Demand. Get it when you want it.
You gotta spend some time, love. You gotta spend some time with me. And I know that you'll find love. I will possess your heart.
Yeah, we were, of course, surprised that Narrow Stairs went to #1. I mean, I think that we were expecting a pretty decent chart position, given the fact that the last one did pretty well. But you know, I think that thankfully we were able to take out Frank Sinatra, get that #1 slot. But no, I was actually kind of worried. We were all kind of joking beforehand, like we were as much kind of expecting there would be some like hip hop guy who was like somebody's cousin who put a record, like Lil Wayne's cousin put out a record, and then that went to #1 and sold like 300,000 copies, like something we just had no bearing on. So the fact when we got that news, it was pretty exciting.
Whenever we get to the end of a recording cycle, we kind of put together a list of titles, and we're always just kind of throwing stuff around. I brought in a list of about 5, I think, and that was one that I think Ben gravitated towards, and I sort of came up with the pairing of words, just I think not as much literally as sort of symbolically. I really like the idea of what a narrow staircase or what narrow stairs sort of symbolizes in a journey or of any kind of magnitude, whether it's life or a career or love or whatever. And so I just felt sort of appropriate somehow with the lyrical content, with just kind of everything that was happening. And thankfully the other guys kind of gravitated towards it as well, and it sort of became the title. There's no implication in the title of ascension or descension. It's just that sort of sense of precariousness and sort of
claustrophobia.
And claustrophobia, yeah, kind of like watch your footsteps, and it remains to be seen what's next, whether this is truly a narrow staircase or not or whatever. I don't know. I mean, it's not even really supposed to apply necessarily to this band and our career as much as it is kind of thematically of a lot of the stuff that you were writing about, I think.
Yeah, there's not really an easy answer for the album title, which I kind of like, but
yeah.
But I think sometimes when people have been asking about it, they want a very concise answer, and I think it's more left open for interpretation, which I like.
Yeah.
We kind of decided that we wanted to record as much as live as possible, and as much with the 4 of us playing at the same time, just because we spend the vast majority of our time as a band playing together on stage or in a room, and I think that's what we're best at. And so to kind of, as we have in the past, kind of picked everything apart and done everything track by track, I think certainly has worked against, I think, one of our better instincts is. So I mean, we just kind of went in and spent a couple weeks kind of learning what we sounded like when the tape was running and the band was playing at the same time, and it's very different than and less kind of crisp than it sounds like when you're doing everything track by track. But in the end, it makes for a better listening experience, I think.
There are days when outside your window I see my reflection as I slowly pass, and I long for this mirrored perspective when we'll be lovers at last.
I mean, I think with the lyrics with every record, they just tend to be, the series of thoughts that are going through my head about the people around me or myself, or the combinations of those two, and every record is just kind of is a little yearbook for whatever period of my life I've been going through, and I've seen people around me going through. So it's never really one point of inspiration or one specific event that sets off an entire album. But that being said, whatever kind of series of events kind of lead you to a certain series of similar thoughts, and then as the songwriter of the band, I end up kind of translating those into the lyrics for the record.